What is up, you guys? Josh here today, back at it again today with a brand new YouTube video. Today we're going to talk about my Uncharted Drake's Fortune shoulder holster rig by Fanfiction Props. As you guys know, I've been putting together a really realistic and highly accurate Uncharted Nathan Drake cosplay, and this is pretty much the cosplay as it stands right now. I'm actually wearing a really nice Henley shirt, and this thing is awesome. I actually really like wearing this thing a lot. I actually wore this shirt to the Uncharted film screening that I actually went to, and I have yet to actually talk about that movie on my channel, which maybe I may or may not film the review for that today, depending on how I feel after I'm done finishing this review. But this is pretty much the nuts and bolts of what you get with the Uncharted Fanfiction Props shoulder holster rig that you can buy from Etsy. I actually bought the last one, so technically you can't really buy this anymore. I actually bought the Drake's Fortune as well as Uncharted 4 shoulder holster rig, so I'll probably end up doing a review for both of those, but I figured that if I at least had the Drake's Fortune shoulder holster rig, wanted to do sort of an Uncharted 2 Among Thieves Nathan Drake cosplay, I could easily swap them out since they're fairly similar. But what do you get when you get the shoulder holster rigs? Well, you get this really cool shoulder holster, which you can see here. It pretty much replicates the one that Nathan Drake has. It's got the mag pouches, it's got the pouch for your gun holster and everything, and you can actually undo the buttons and put a gun sort of into the shoulder holster itself, from this little strap here. I don't know if you guys can see it that well, but the attention to detail on this thing is really fantastic. This thing cost me about $235 on sort of the Etsy site that I bought it from, which is Fanfiction Props. Now, this guy does a bunch of other sort of movie and video game props, such as Ash from Evil Dead, which I'm kind of looking at possibly buying the Evil Dead shoulder rig from that TV series, because I am doing an Ash Williams Evil Dead cosplay. Yeah, I know I kind of just revealed it on sort of this review, but I don't really care. And that thing looks pretty darn cool as well. And he does a whole bunch of other video game stuff. So if you guys are interested in the Uncharted Drake's Fortune shoulder holster rig, even though I know you can't really buy it at the moment, maybe contact him and see if there's any possible way that you could commission something like that from him, and maybe he'll kind of make you guys one as well. But you also get this really cool envelope once you get it that basically states that you bought sort of the shoulder holster rig from Fanfiction Props. He also gives you a replica ring, the Sic Parvis Magna or Sir Francis Drake ring of the same name. And this thing is really cool. I've been looking for a really cool replica ring kind of wear for my cosplays and stuff like that as well. That was kind of lore accurate, kind of looked like the one from the games. And it was relatively hard to find because some of these stuff, especially on Amazon, they claim to be from the Drake's Deception, sort of video game collector's edition ring, but it's actually sort of the Amazon version of that ring itself, and it's not actually the one from the games, which is relatively hard to find. If I could find something like that, I'd probably drop some money down and buy that. And it was online on eBay at some point, and that thing was like $600, and I didn't really have it at the time, so didn't buy the ring, unfortunately, but this works just as well, and it pretty much came free with the $235 shoulder holster rig that you see here. One of the things that you notice on Drake's Fortune shoulder holster is the fact that it says NDI on it, which basically stands for Naughty Dog Industries, and that was basically their generic sort of company name that they created for the shoulder holster rig that you see here on sort of the shoulder holster rig itself. If I take a quick turn, you'll actually see that is on the back of my shoulder holster rig itself, so let me do that for you as well. And as you can see, it replicates the NDI sort of insignia there, which is basically stands for Naughty Dog Industries. And as I turn around, you can see that it is relatively cool in terms of the replication, the attention to detail in terms of the shoulder holster rig itself. You got these really cool sort of white pieces on the side here from the stitching and everything mixed in with sort of the leather material and stuff like that. And I just think that for a $235 shoulder holster rig, you can't go wrong with Fanfiction Props. I think that they did a really outstanding job with this shoulder holster rig, and I really wasn't expecting that much when I bought it. I figured I'd probably get something that was close to, if not as more accurate as sort of this shoulder holster rig is. But once I opened it out of the box, which basically came in a bag, so I was kind of a little bit worried when it showed up and there was like a trash bag, and both of my shoulder holster rigs were stuck inside of it, but I guess it was just due to shipping and stuff like that, and he didn't have anything to properly package it with. But it actually survived the trip, it survived the journey from where he shipped it from, and that was another thing that kind of got me a little bit worried, because I ordered it and it didn't arrive till well after sort of December and sort of the January, February sort of era that we're kind of in, and then I finally got it. So it was a few months from when I actually initially ordered it to when I actually received it, which was a little bit worrisome, because I know that with some of the other products that I ordered recently, they arrived a few months later than they actually projected it to be. But when this thing came and it arrived out of the box, this thing was just fantastic, and I don't really have any regrets about buying this thing. I think that this is definitely an A+ product. It definitely resembles the one that Nathan Drake wears in the games. Nathan Drake, as you know, is one of those characters that's really cocky, kind of resembles that of Indiana Jones, as well as John McClane from Die Hard with his wit and humor and stuff like that, and the fact that he's one of those characters that I can really relate to on a personal level. He's one of those characters that I kind of relate to in terms of the fact that, I care a lot about my friends and family. I think that's relatively important to Nathan Drake as a character, as well as the story overall, is the banter back and forth between, the people that he cares about, while kind of going on these amazing journeys, and the fact that there's this insane level of set piece and design and stuff like that for the video games. It just adds to the overall experience, and it feels like you're playing through a movie. Definitely something that I intend on in the future, uploading to my channel, but we'll see what happens with that as well. I think it'd be really cool to kind of, do sort of movie reviews. If there are more Uncharted movies, which I still have yet to review the movie, like I said before, which I just saw with my dad not too long ago. And I was actually pleasantly surprised with that movie. I went in with really low expectations, and I actually came out really liking it. But this is not really a review of the movie per se. This is a review of the shoulder holster rig itself that I bought, a few months ago. And, overall with the package that you get from it, the fact that it's made by a fan for fans, the fact that the creator of this shoulder holster rig did a really fantastic job, and he's actually worked on movies in the past in terms of, creating props and prop replicas for different movies and stuff like that. I really like the attention to detail in this thing, and I don't think I'd be giving this an A+ rating if it didn't have that sort of attention to detail and looked almost like it came out of the video game itself, and it's actually brought to me in sort of a reality form. It's just insane. It's insane to have this stuff, and if you told me like a few years ago I'd be doing sort of a Nathan Drake cosplay, and I'd be cosplaying as this character that I've grown up loving since, around the 2000s when the games first came out on the PS3. And subsequently I played on the PS4. I don't have a PS5 yet, but I do intend on getting one in the near future, and I'll probably end up getting the Legacy of Thieves collection whenever I'm able to get my hands on one of those. But it's stuff like this that allows me to kind of get into that universe to kind of help other people, make them happy, especially the fact that I'm cosplaying as these characters that people come to know and love. The fact that this character was really based on Indiana Jones, as well as, John McClane, as well as Tomb Raider, video game and movie franchises that I happen to love for generations. And I'm able to have something from this video game that kind of resembles that from the games itself. It's really freaking cool, and I definitely intend on wearing this in my video game reviews when I do go down sort of the list of Drake's Fortune, Among Thieves, Drake's Deception, and eventually Uncharted 4. I want to review all those games because I really do love each and every single one of them for different reasons. They're video games that have gotten me through some really tough times, along with, video games like Halo and Killzone and some of the other video games that I played, not just on Sony's platform, but also on the Xbox platform as well. In terms of sort of the review process, I really do like this. I think that the attention to detail on the shoulder holster rig itself, the fact that it has the mag pouches and everything's pretty much in the right spots as it is for the games. The fact that they took the time and attention to detail to create this realistic piece, that is something that's straight out of something I've loved for a long time now. It's just amazing. The person that did this did a really fantastic job, knocked it out of the park, as I like to say. And I think that if you are looking into buying this, if you see this on their Etsy shop, if they do put it back online, you should definitely check it out. Overall, the only expensive piece that I really bought for my Uncharted cosplay, besides the shirts, was the shoulder holster rig. And you can actually do the Nathan Drake cosplay for relatively cheap. Nathan Drake himself is just a character that wears a white t-shirt and jeans. Sometimes he wears a Henley shirt and maybe some khaki pants and stuff like that if you're going for the Uncharted 3 look. And maybe in the future I'll do a breakdown of pretty much my entire Uncharted sort of cosplay and stuff like that. But for right now, I'm just sticking to the shoulder holster rig by Fanfiction Props. And I really give my hats off to Fanfiction Props for creating sort of a realistic Nathan Drake shoulder holster rig. I've been looking for other shoulder holster rigs myself that kind of resembled the ones that look like the ones from Uncharted. And it didn't have sort of the NDI logo that I was kind of looking for on the back like you see here. They're pretty much your standard shoulder holster rig that you've seen in other movies, which I might get in the future just because it'd be kind of cool to be able to cosplay as John McClane in Die Hard, which I'm also looking at sort of doing a cosplay of as well. But, overall, I really do like this product. I think that if you're looking at buying it yourself, you should definitely get your hands on one of these, especially if he does put them back online, since Uncharted it's become a little bit more well-known in terms of the property itself. It's already a really well-known franchise, but with the movies, I think that Uncharted is definitely going to be a really huge franchise in the near future. So, as always, guys, rate, comment, subscribe if you like the review that you see here. And I've got some more videos I'm working on in the future. So, whenever you see this, there'll definitely be some more content out for you guys. I'm sorry I haven't really been posting that much. I've just been in the middle of a move. I've been kind of working on my video game channel, which I do post on when I'm not really working on stuff here. So, definitely keep an eye on that as well. And as always, guys, rate, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.